Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Obviously, we have had a location change. I don't know, it's been a week. Has it been a week for you guys? Because it's definitely been a week for me. And I find myself feeling just tired and like, I don't know, I didn't even want to set up in my office and where I just want to kind of relax. This is my bedroom. I have a blanket. You guys know Fridays are casual here. Come as you are. I'm a type 9. This is the Confessions of the Enneagram Peacemaker series. And today I don't have like a big plan for this. You know, this is just a more relaxed video. But something that's been on my heart is Enneagram type 9s. Like last week, we kind of talked about sloth and what that looked like. And I guess this is a little bit of a continuation in why we don't show up to our lives and why we should and how to show up to our own lives. I don't know. We're going to flesh this out together. I'm going to base this video around the lyrics of, let me get my computer, the Sleeping at Last. Have you guys heard of Sleeping at Last? They have made 9 songs and each song for each Enneagram type. And so I kind of want to just walk through the lyrics with you today. I don't know what that's going to look like, but I want to walk through them because this morning I was reading them and I started to cry. And I was just like, they were hitting me really hard. And I just felt like it just like this be put on my spirit to go ahead and share this with you. And let's walk through this together and see what it looks like to you and how these lyrics reach you and how they've touched me. And I don't know, let's just kind of like talk about this together. So obviously the song we're going to talk about is called 9. I kind of want to read why. His name is Ryan, who wrote the song. He's a type 9 and he wrote all 9 types, their songs. And the 9 song came out last. And I don't know how long he had between each song. I think it was a year or more. I'm not for sure. If you want to know, I'm sure it's easy to Google, but he wrote this song, the 9 one, last. And he says, I have my computer right here, I happen to identify as a type 9. I am embarrassed to admit that even though I've been learning about the Enneagram for many years now, when it came time to write this song, my song, I realized that I knew very little about the type 9 and therefore very little about myself. And I was like, oh, I mean, that hit me right there. Does that hit you if you are, even if you're not a 9, you know, you can relate to the 9. You might be connected to the 9. This is definitely not only for type 9s, but I am a type 9, and so that's where this, you know, that's the place I teach from. He just talks about successfully avoiding his type until now and taking a look at himself, a really deep look at himself. And that's really one of the reasons why I teach the Enneagram. We need to all take that look inward. I know it sounds selfish sometimes, but it's not. If we want to do better and be better and love and feel seen and have compassion and grace for each other and for ourselves, that's why I teach this. And so I kind of want to break these lyrics down and see what comes out of it. I don't have anything written down. I kind of just want this to be an organic time between you and I, and let's see what this ends up looking like. So come along on the journey. Okay, so the first set of lyrics that just hit me, and I don't even know if I'll cry. I might cry. I cried earlier, but it just touched me so much. It talks about, who am I to say what any of this means? I have been sleepwalking since I was 14. It hits me. Like, it just hits me to the core. Of course I'm going to cry, but I feel the same way. I feel like I've been sleepwalking through a lot of my life. And I would say mine was more around 10 years old. There definitely was something that happened around that time that from then on, I needed to sleepwalk through life. And one day I'll probably share more about my childhood and what that looked like. But for now, it really does resonate with my soul that I did begin to start sleepwalking. I put myself to sleep. I think I said this in last week's video where I stopped asserting myself. I became a wallflower. And up until that point, I actually was, a little more outgoing. All of a sudden, the survival part of me was like, no, the less of you, the better it is. And so I kind of put myself to sleep in order to gain love. I really believe that's the stem. That's where the root is in order to gain love. I realized that I needed to go along to get along. I needed to forget my own priorities, my own desires, blend in, and less of me seemed like the right choice at the time. I don't know if you can relate to that, but that's how I felt. And the next part of these lyrics say, now as I write my song, I retrace my steps. honestly, it's easier to let myself forget. I understand that. I get it. I spent so many years forgetting and just moving forward and not letting myself dwell and think about everything and thinking about the things I had went through and just moved forward. The next piece he says is, still I check my vital signs. Choked up, I realize I've been less than half myself for more than half my life. Woo! Guys, that one hits me so hard. And the reason why is, for me personally, I have always merged. Like, I merged a lot up until my mid to late 30s. And even though I'm in my early 40s, so you can, obviously I merged a lot in my life. I always found somebody to find my identity in. And that is not being the whole me, the Hillary that I'm supposed to be, the Hillary that I'm called to be, the Hillary that is a world changer, the Hillary that is, when she shows up with her full presence, it does bless others. And I don't know your name, but put your name in there. Put your name in when you show up to the world and bless others with your full presence. Things happen. Things change. You feel seen and heard. You see and hear other people. Like, the world needs your full presence. And that's what I finally feel like I realized, that the world needed my full presence. And for me, it took a tragedy. I really, when I'm looking back through my life, like he said, and I'm kind of walking through like the whys and the hows and the whats and the wheres and what was going on. The part that stands out to where I really felt like it woke me up was when I was 36, I believe, 37. My mom, maybe I was 36 when my mom got cancer. She was only 54 and she was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. And we spent the next 11 months, walking through this journey with her. Again, that's another story if you guys want, I would share that one day, because I really, really can help you guys and talk about grief and being a 9, or just grief in general. Because again, I think everybody can relate to each other at some way or another. It's the motivations behind are different, right? We all might have been asleep. We all might be able to relate to these lyrics, even if we're not a 9, but the reason why might look different. My mom ended up passing away when she was 55. And that was a pivotal moment that I will always remember in my life, where I knew that I had been kind of sleeping through my life in different areas. Not 100%, but in different areas where I wasn't fully awake to what God has for me, to what I have for me, to what I know I'm meant to do, what my passions are. And that's when I had already been studying life coaching and Enneagram stuff and everything. But that's when I finally made the decision to stay awake. I had been awake because, we kind of come awake and then we go back to sleep, and we're awake and back to sleep. And that's when I was like, no, we don't know how much time we have. We don't know what tomorrow looks like. And for me, that's the reason why I think in my heart I was like, I am called for more. I know I am. I just know that I'm supposed to be fully awake to my own life. And so the next set of lyrics are, wake up, fall in love again, wage war on gravity. There's so much worth fighting for, you'll see. And it's true. There is so much worth fighting for. There's so much worth waking up for, and showing up to your life and going after your dreams and going after your desires and leaving your mark. It's pivotal for a 9 to do. And he says, another domino falls either way. It looks like empathy to understand all sides, but I'm just trying to find myself through someone else's eyes. And again, that really hits me, because I've done that in so many different relationships in my life where I did try to find myself through their eyes. And it never fully was who I am. I don't know if you relate to that. I don't know. But I know I do. And for a lot of my life, that's what I did. And I'm so grateful that I don't do that anymore. And it's not to say I won't do it, because I'm a 9, right? I don't know what the future holds, but I do know I'm so much more awake than I've ever been, and so much more willing to embrace who I am and who I'm meant to be. So does that speak to you? Does that resonate with you? Do you feel like throughout your life, you've tried to see yourself through someone else's eyes. Like, what does that look like for you? So the next piece is, he says, so please show me what to do to restart this heart of mine. How do I forgive myself for losing so much time? And I think that's, exactly what we're supposed to do. We do have to forgive ourselves. We do have to go, okay, that time, at times was lost. Not all the time. There's lots of good things that have happened, I'm sure. And even for me, like I have tons of great things, but definitely there are times where things were lost, where I stayed asleep. And I just think like, it's less about like, okay, wallowing or thinking about that. It's more about, okay, well, what does going forward look like? And the next piece of his lyrics say, wake up, roll up your sleeves. There's a chain reaction in your heart. Muscle memory, remembering who you are. That's it, right? Who are you? Who are you inside? He says, stand up, fall in love again and again and again. Wage war on gravity. There's so much more worth fighting for, you'll see. And just like these kind of, another domino falls and another domino falls. And a little at a time, I feel more alive. So I let the scale tip and feel all of it. It's uncomfortable but right. We were born to try, to see each other through, to know and love ourselves and each other well is the most difficult and meaningful work we'll ever do. And so those are the lyrics to that song, the Sleeping at Last Type 9 song. I will put that in the link in my description box below so that you can go listen to it if you haven't listened to it. It's such a good song. I resonated with it so much, as you can see, and I wanted to just kind of share that with you and share what was going through my heart and mind as I read those lyrics. And I've listened to the song before, and all his songs I really like, but I just thought that was really beautiful, and that, as a type 9, I could relate to it. And I wanted to, kind of put that out there with you and share and see, what does this look like for you? How can you roll up your sleeves and be who you were meant to be? What does that look like? And start small, For the 9, like it could be overwhelming to do this, to wake up and go, okay, what am I going to do? And really know we're a gentler human being, to where I think it's okay to start gentle and small and go, okay, what does that look like today? What does that look like just today? And stay in today and go, okay, what can I do in order to move forward? And what does that look like? And it's going to look different for everybody. It definitely does for me. For me, it was waking up too, starting my YouTube channel. I've already talked about that before, and spending time with you guys. And I really enjoy this piece. All the other stuff is super overwhelming and hard, but there's something in me that's so alive now and so willing to do all the hard stuff in order to get to this. And so what does that look like for you? Think about it, journal about it, talk to yourself about it, dig deep, and see what that is. And again, you don't have to be a 9, it's just a series, it's confessions from a type 9. So anyways, that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. I hope that it touched your heart. I hope that it spoke to you. I don't know what you're going through. This has been a tough week, especially here in America. And I know a lot of you don't even live in America, and I can only imagine what you guys are thinking about right now, but I'm exhausted. I've had a hard time sleeping at different points of this week, and it's just been a lot. So that's why I was like, you know what? I just need to be in my bedroom, sitting on this like lounge chair thing that's in here, and talking to you guys so organically. And I just want, asking you guys, how are you? How are you doing? I see you, I hear you in the comments and on my Instagram. I see and hear every single one of you, and I thank you for just your encouragement and kind words all the time. You guys have no idea how much that touches me and means to me. And it's so many times, it's a moment that I needed in that day. So thank you for being kind. Thank you for reaching out to me. If you do want to go follow me on Instagram, Hillary_McCaskey_coaching, or have an Enneagram account, Enneagram Coaching, you could find me both those places. That's really all I have today. You guys know, I never like to end these without letting you know. If you don't know your type, if you're just watching this and you're like, gosh, I don't even know my Enneagram type, so that I can get some tools and move forward and work on myself and see what that looks like. And so I do offer a Discover You Typing course. I will link that right here maybe on the screen or right here on the screen. I don't know which way, but I will link that up here and down there. There's a Discover You 1-hour typing course link. But is that all I have? But I think that's all I have today. So until next week, bye guys.